members. Looking for a motion on the minutes for October 2nd, 2024.
So moved.
Any discussion? Yes.
In here it says 1762.50 in red tag fees. I think it's 1672.50.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. So I'll accept that as a friendly amendment.
I'm sorry, if I may, the claim appeal itself referenced 1762.50.
So what should it be there?
I think what the bill is, which
Okay.
is, well, that's part of the confusion on this.
Because it's even on the agenda as 1672, right?
Yeah, so the initial claim form says 1672.50.
Right.
The appeal says 17, and I don't know if that's a mistake or not.
All right, so legal, do we need to amend these minutes? Probably not. So,
I don't know that it's required.
okay. We're good then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right. Public comment on agenda items, you're welcome to speak now, or if the item comes up, you're welcome to speak then. And if people come late, they're welcome to speak as well. Moving on to item B, appointment of Julie Vanderboom as City of Lansing member of Cavalier District Library Board for a term to expire April 15th, 2028. Hi. Hi, Julie. If you would like to maybe just share a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in this position.
Sure. I am an avid library patron and also very involved with the community. Ran for charter commission, came up just a little bit short, and want to continue to represent people that I met while I was campaigning. I think it's important that we focus on the library not just as materials to check out, but the other things that it does for the community. Computer access. I know there's a lot of folks that don't have other resources that rely on the library. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Thank you. I'll just open it up to committee members.
Yeah, so the elephant in the room is this conversation, right? With regard to cattle potentially in the next, I don't know, maybe a few years,
Yes.
Moving from downtown, so that presence would be, it sounds like gone. They talk about like separating the three uses or services that are essentially rendered from that building, but it sounds like the actual library aspect of it would be gone, right? What are your thoughts on that?
From what I heard Monday night, I didn't sound like they were for sure wanting to move out of the downtown. I thought I heard her say that they recognize the importance of having a location downtown. I don't know if it would be the same building that it's in now.
Right.
I mean, but I absolutely think that it needs to be downtown. That's my personal reflection.
Certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate your frankness on the issue. I know that we've had a conversation about that as well. Something I typically ask every new person that's going to serve on a board, I assume that you have time available to be able to come to the meetings. Okay, perfect. I don't have anything else. I think she's a great pick. Julie is wonderful. Been involved in the community for some time. I see her everywhere. Very impressed. I think she'll be a great addition to the board.
Ditto, and that I would
Concur with all those sentiments and the proper motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Their date.
Great.
So October 28th at 7 o'clock. It's usually a little after. If you want to come and be sworn in person at the committee or the council meeting, you're more than welcome. Or if you don't, you can go to the clerk's office anytime after that and raise your right hand by yourself or with other people in the clerk's office.
Okay. I think I'll be there on the 20th.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Item C, an appointment for Mark Klaus, 4th Ward member of Board of Public Service, term to expire June 30th, 2028. Hi. You're welcome to come to the table or just sit there. It's up to you.
A little buzzing back there. I'll get up here and hear a little better. I am Mark Klaus. Maybe I'm not a patron of them, but I'm certainly a user of the streets and the public utilities and of the facilities that the city of Lansing offers. I've been a resident for about 12 years in the city, having grown up in the greater Lansing area, but moved into the city 12 years ago. Interested in helping in any way I can, quite honestly, and I think obviously the utilities, the public roads in our community are ones that we all hear about, and would certainly be able to feel as though I could add something as an advisory board, and found the time to be able to do that. I think we meet once a month on Thursdays, and I've made sure that my calendar would allow me to do that. And I'm willing and able to do so, and I see that the 4th Ward position has been vacant for a while, and I know it was one that was a goal to fill that.
Okay, thank you for that. I see that you observed a few meetings of, is it the board?
I have, yes.
All right, excellent. That's more than a lot of care people that come in, you know, they check it out first. That's great. Any members? Anything to add? Questions or anything?
The 2 meetings you attended, what were your observations? What did you think was good, and what things do you think we could do better?
I think I was late for the first meeting, so I felt bad about it. I couldn't find it. The roads were closed off. I had never been to that facility, quite honestly, and so it was a learning curve up on Sunset. There was construction happening, and so I was late getting in there. I think the observations were that there seemed to be appropriate discourse or appropriate conversation between the members on the board, and conversation and discussion. And that was my first one. The second meeting I went to was, I believe, September's meeting. I had some concerns, quite honestly. I shared those with others on that board, and that was in an effort to go back and change the minutes of a meeting that had occurred several months before. That did raise some concerns to me, and I questioned why they would be doing such a thing at that point. I'm certainly not a one that has a great deal of experience in the Robert's Rules of Orders and the materials and how that happens, but to go back and change minutes at that point gave me some concern, and that would be something that I'd be interested in learning more about and understanding the reasons and the policies behind that.
Sure, and just because I'm in the know on this, I believe they were trying to reflect what they had stated at that meeting, and it was improperly recorded into the minutes, what their intention was with a certain parking issue. So they wanted to clarify. That was
and yet I believe the 2 people that wanted to change it had voted to approve the minutes at the following meeting, at the meeting subsequent to the one that they were asking to change. So that was the part that I didn't understand.
And they probably missed it. I think there was a misunderstanding, and those folks wanted to clarify. So I do appreciate your frankness, though, about the issues.
One more question. Being an attorney for the I development, do you see any type of conflict at all?
Certainly, if something were to come before the advisory board that had any relationship to a project or something that my client or the company I work for was involved in, I would recuse myself from that. But I don't see any general reason for it to be. It's something that certainly have gained a great deal of knowledge on infrastructure issues over the nearly 40 years that I've worked for them. So I feel like that would probably be more of a benefit than a detriment. But if it ever became an issue, I would certainly either ask for it to be removed from the board, step out, or certainly not vote on a particular issue.
Thank you for that.
So I was surprised, I'm not surprised. I was actually happy to see that you had already been somewhat active regarding the process. This is, continues to be one of the more impressive boards that we have in the city of Lansing. So when you look at, Jason Wilkes or Samara Morgan or Nancy Baylor, or a number of folks that you saw at those meetings, they are deeply, deeply immersed in their community. So this isn't just them showing up and listening to, a staff report, rubber stamping everything, because they are so deeply immersed, because they are everywhere. They literally go to advise. They are the only board that on an annual basis, we actually have a charter-driven process where we provide budget priorities to the mayor. So as he goes through his exercise, putting his budget together, the hope is that so we don't have this knocked out, drag out later in the process, that he incorporates some of that into his recommended budget. But they are the only board that has routinely provided us their priorities, and they've been so good, frankly, that we've adapted them into ours. So this is an incredibly active board. I think you'll enjoy it. And again, I'm encouraged because you've already been attending. So we appreciate that. With that being said, I will move the appointment to our close.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to letter E. A resolution for a traffic control order number 24-58, parking along the 200 block of North Grand Avenue.
Thank you. Engineers report 24-3 for 200 North Grand Avenue. This report reflects a request that was made by IT department. They were in the need of loading unloading zone 200 North Washington, right out from their offices. Review of the area. There's one space potentially that could be added just south of the existing parking on the west side of Grand Avenue.
Sorry, can you back that up just a second? You said, what about one space we were talking about?
Oh, that's fine. The existing parking that's on North Grand.
Right.
By site distance requirements, we could fit one space in there and still meet the minimum site distance requirements for this existing speed limit that's out there. So based on their request, we didn't see an issue with it, and we're recommending the installation of the loading unloading zone in the block on the west side.
Loading.
So this will benefit both people that are going to pay traffic tickets and.
Well, there's already parking that's there to pay the parking tickets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Would this require any striping, restriping?
we would have to add which we have the equipment to do. Yeah. And we already did a temporary traffic control order. I think it's in the application.
But there's no building, there's no
Nothing.
just striping.
Just a stripe, yeah.
Cool. Makes sense to me. Yep.
Looking for a motion? Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Now let's go to item D. This is a claim appeal for claim 2059 I Plan Group for 16.72 cents in red tag fees at 1504. I did receive a message from Renee that the person wanted to, basically have a table or adjourn. So
Can I, real quick, because table what we did last meetings, we actually tabled specifically to this meeting. I think it probably be appropriate. So I would do that.
Okay, untable it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Pretty much, I'm gonna ask them to table it again, just because the person apparently contacted our office and wanted to be here in person. And if they want to be here in person to contest something that's, expensive and serious and running center on their life and mine, might as well give them another chance. Probably won't give another chance, just because I know we need to move on and we have her. Ryan, you made the point that we heard some of their rationale already. So we'll move it one more time to the next meeting, or is that okay?
Quick question. Since Raleigh and Nick are here, perhaps they could just speak on this, and then not necessarily have to be at that meeting, and we don't have to waste their time.
Yes, and I guess I should have said Renee or somebody that, since we're not having them, we could cancel everybody that has to come, but please, here. And if anybody wants to stay or leave, it's up to you guys, but It's here.
We don't lock the doors, you can leave.
We just want the staff.
I mean, unless it's easy or not too hard to come back. I don't know.
Without hearing what the claimant has to say, I mean, it's, I'm not sure what questions that can be asked, I'm not sure exactly.
So what she said was, is it okay? What she said was that they closed summer 2023. This, I think it was, it's been Red Tech, they're back to 2021, is that correct? And she essentially said, she made this charge that they had been calling Everett, and that was the only reason frankly the Red Tag was still on the property, because they weren't able to get the last, she said, the last inspection. She didn't just say Everett, but she said the department in general. She's left a number of voicemails. She actually stated at one point she was calling daily. So we wanted to bring you in and let you all respond to that before we actually decided to do this.
Gotcha. Well, now that we have that information, maybe we can do some looking into it on our end, see if in fact that is the case. And then just plan on doing that next week.
Right. Yeah, that's what we looked at. Our systems don't record phone calls and track phone calls in BSNA like that.
Okay.
So we'll have to reach out to the officer, side of the story.
Right.
See. So if I understand the question, she's claiming saying because they repeatedly reach out to COCO to get back to them, that is the reason why she's potentially seeking an appeal support to have those red tag monitoring fees waived. Because my understanding is her appeal is much more than just red tag monitoring. It's trash.
Well, so there were a couple, and this was a confusing one because there were actually a couple that were moving simultaneously. So I don't know.
There's all the, it's a back page too.
I understand the claim review committee did offer her $600 deduction, but she did not accept that. If you don't accept that, of those
And I thought that was on the other, I think that was on the other claim.
Yeah.
That's what made this confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
She also noted that she did new flooring, appliances, cleaned up, removed the swimming pool, that there was a lot of work from all the dogs and stuff that was in the house previously. And she seems to think that she hasn't up to par, up to code.
It's on Zillow. I mean, it looks nice on the inside. They certainly
She
did
invited us
renovations.
to come and take a tour, right?
Yeah, I don't have 150,000 for it.
And put a down payment and use a bank.
I would have liked to pay with it.
So what I'm hearing is you guys will do some investigation. make sure-
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. I mean, I haven't looked at the inspection report. I don't know if permits were required. And so that's one of the things with code enforcement, if permits are required for necessary repairs, and we know those permits have not been pulled, therefore we know that we cannot remove the
My
red tag.
notes read that permits pulled, finalized, passed all inspections, trying to contact Everett.
Yeah, I see since they became owners that there was one permit pulled and that was for a deck or a porch. So that wouldn't obviously include anything on the interior, mechanical, things of that nature. So we'll have a little bit of work to do on our end, but we'll be well prepared for next week.
Again, it's just as part of the code officer knows where it says the owner must have all utilities turned on and contact officer at the code's at, right, such and such. And she's claiming that she does. She did, sorry, this officer recommends denial of monitoring fees to increase $300. Then again, we're told that was the other claim. So, yeah, I think we need to try this out for you.
Yeah.
So I would move that we table it to the next week.
All those in further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Table to the next meeting. What's the date?
November 6th.
Thank you. Down to other. Is there any other?
I don't think so.
All right, let's go. We are adjourned at.
Hey, see you later. man. Good seeing you. Yeah.
4:20, what a coincidence.
What does that mean?
It's only 20 minutes.